It's incredible they repaired the broken tractor axle, but they even used the 3-section splicing of the truck axle. This is a complete disregard for the local parts suppliers. First, the axle was directly broken into 2 sections. Ordinary glue would definitely not be able to splice it together, but direct welding would make the length not meet the requirements. In order to restore the strength and length of the axle, the master directly selected a 100-ton king axle rod. The section-type docking can not only restore the length, but also will not affect the normal use of the tractor. After the master measured very carefully joint position, considering that the most important thing about docking is concentricity, before processing, it is necessary to use the assistance of scrapers and hammers to ensure that the basket plate and the claw plate are absolutely concentric. The length of the truck axle to be docked is completely sufficient to achieve the best docking effect this time. The cracked basket end must be cut out with a longer protrusion. There is enough contact area with the embedded hole to make the spliced axle more durable. After the master measured with a caliper, obviously it cannot bear the force if it is directly connected with the hole position. The hole position of the thread not only ensures the concentricity, but also greatly improves the strength through the internal bite. However, the processing process is more complicated. Fu directly chose the thread solution. After confirming the internal thread pitch in the previous processing, the flower sword end that has been heated and annealed should be cut and reduced with the same convex length to prevent the inconsistency on both sides from affecting the force balance. After simply comparing the outer diameters of the convex at both ends, the thread with the same thread pitch can be reproduced on the elbow convex of the flower sword end. The data can reduce the difficulty of subsequent processing to prevent small errors from affecting the 3-stage concentric coaxial. Although the flower sword section has met the splicing standards, it cannot be connected with only 2 sections of external threads. The master will measure the total length of the 2 sections of convex to determine the length of the splice shaft rod. Because the repair shop does not have a high-end slot cutter, in order to prevent the thread cutter from wasting materials, Fu directly uses a saw blade cutting machine to cut, which can improve the cutting efficiency. The cut surface can still remain completely flat. After the length of the shaft rod docking, the tractor half shaft is reserved for the protruding columns at both ends. The spliced shaft rod must be drilled. The protruding columns are completely embedded inside, so that the overall length of the half shaft will not be too long. Although the entire maintenance plan seems very simple, the important thing is the idea of an 8th level former worker. The depth of the hole must be equal to the length of the protruding column. The diameter of the hole must also match the color of the protruding column. Only then can the 3-stage splicing data be accurate. Then use the inner hole cutter to continue to expand the hole position. After the second confirmation using the card teeth, the logic of this splicing is unified. With the experience of the previous 2 processing, the logical cutting is like a boat in the belly for the master. He is a skilled expert. After the master's 10 times strength, a simple docking test will be carried out. The silky degree of rotation can show that the logic of the master has no deviation. After the other end is also engraved, the rotation of the window claw plate can be used to punch the axis and reverse the drilled shaft. The blue end rotates and docks. The whole docking process is also smooth, and there is no jamming. When the 3 sections of the shaft are fully tightened, it is obvious that there is no deviation in the length after splicing. It is the strength of a senior 8-level front end. Since the gap has been reserved in advance before splicing, it is only necessary to fill it with high-hardness Han strips, and Han 8 can completely cover the gap of the splicing. After the Han joint is completed, remove the residual medicine skin on the surface. The Han scars must be consistent with the original outer diameter. The master simply cuts off a layer of the surface to restore the gloss of the half shaft that has been used for many years. There is no trace of the gap of the first welding. It is the effect of simply cutting a layer. At this time, this half shaft that can no longer be used has been repaired by splicing in 3 sections. What do you think of the strength of the glasses uncle? If the full score is 5 points, how many points can you give to the glasses uncle's craftsmanship?